everyone. So this is 24 hours of UX. Let's see how many people in the session right now. Okay, that's awesome. So to those who just joined us, kindly please, you can actually use the icons at the bottom of the screen. Just show your emotions. Click on emojis. If you are excited, yes, that's great. Thank you so much. So you can do that throughout the talk. And if you wanted to be on stage with us, you can actually raise your hands here. I purposely do this so that you won't accidentally actually press on this, because if you press this, you will be on stage. Just be careful on that. So if you want to have some kind of subtitle, just click on the CC. And on the right hand side here, you can see the chat tab. Please drop us where you are from, your geographical location, what time is it now, and what's the weather looks like, whether it's a thunderstorm, snowing, whatever weather you have now, and the time. What time is it in your current location? So we're going to start in about 3 minutes. Hello, Taipei, Taiwan. Welcome. Sunny morning. Yes, joining you. Thank you for making time to attend this. We're from Singapore. Hello, neighbor. Yes, neighbor. Indonesia. Welcome. Hello. Hello, everyone. That looks familiar, Leonard.
That's so in India, it's chill wind.
Congratulations. 10 marks for you. Yes, we
it's so hot in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Oh, not so much in Johor. It's raining.
Hello,
Chuyin.
We see some familiar names here. Chuyin, Siti Hasna, all the way from Sabah. Hey, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Heavy rain.
So we have 2 minutes to start the session. So please feel free to write down anything on the chats. Perhaps your location, where are you from, or what time is it over there? Because I know everyone is from all over the planet at this point of time. So what is the weather looks like at your current positions? You know, we would love to know. So we have from Geneva.
Wow, it's starting to rise.
Have you actually slept, Peter? I feel guilty now.
Hi, Ahmad from Jordan.
We are from Jordan, Penang.
What's that?
Yes, we have Grace Hassan from Indonesia. Hello, neighbor. Neighboring country. I think we have session from Indonesia last night, a bit late, 11 o'clock, still bearable. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for making time to attend this. Hello, India. So to those who just join us, feel free to use all the icons at the bottom of the screen. So you have emojis there. You can use that throughout all the presentations. If you like, show us you like. If you don't like, show us you don't like. And drop us something on the chat tab. You can actually write down where you're from, what time is it over there now, and what is the weather looks like. And if you have any thoughts, you can always share them in the Q&A section, in the Q&A tab. All right? Okay. So let's welcome everyone. So this is actually a 24 hours non-stop conference. We're running starting from New Zealand, then we go to Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. So why we are doing this? We believe that the local communities give impactful values to the global communities. So that is why we wanted to gather all the local communities here. So we are currently at the hour of 23, which is the second last of the event for today. We're gonna have like a keynote session at the end of this session later on. Just simple housekeeping to those to the audience. Basically, in total, we have 20 talks. They are categorized into two. First is the UX in practice, which is more on the practical side. And the second one is more on the elevating UX, which is the strategic level. So in total, we have 6 keynotes and also 8 workshops. All right. So with us today, proudly present you speakers from Malaysia. I hope you can find this in the map. Okay. So these speakers today, they are coming from this side of Malaysia. We have 2 mountains of Malaysia, and they are actually from the northern side, which is Professor Madhya, Dr. Juliana, Aida. I think you can
Thank you, Idyawati.
wave or introduce yourself if you want to.
Yeah, hi everyone from Kedah, Malaysia.
And next we have Professor Madhya Masitah Ghazali from the southern here.
Yeah, hi everyone. Morning from Malaysia. I'm from Johor.
And last but not least, soon to be doctor, Rasip.
Hi, Linda here. I'm CTO for Drapi.com and also communication strategist for myHCI-UX.
Right. So without further delay, I would like to disappear from the stage and hand over this to you guys.
All right, thank you so much.
I'll be back later, 5 minutes before the end of the session, and help you out with the Q&A session. So to the rest of the audience, sit back. Don't forget to click on the emojis button if you like, if you love, if you're excited. Yeah, that's all we need.
Awesome.
All the best, guys.
Thank you, Ida.
Thank you, Idya.
All right. Hi, everyone. So once again, I'm Masitah. So I'm basically based in Johor, academician, professionally at one of the university down south in Technology Malaysia, as well as currently the chair or the president of myHCI-UX. Maybe just brief introduction first, Ju and Linda, before I share my screen.
Hi everyone. I'm Juliana Aida from UUM, University Utara Malaysia in Kedah, Malaysia. Now, basically, I'm the secretary of myHCI-UX. Okay, so yeah, looking forward.
Yeah, hi, Linda. I'm from KL, center of Malaysia, the capital city. I'm the communication strategist.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be sharing the slides now. Share screen, Chrome tab. So bear with me just a few seconds. Just for a few seconds. Okay. All right. So I hope everyone can see the slides in front of you. Okay. Right. So once again, thank you so much everyone for being here, catching up with us. So once again, we are representing our chapter of society, myHCI-UX. For your information, our chapter is one of the local chapter under the ACM SIGCHI. So we are honored to be here because we learned that ACM SIGCHI sponsoring for the event. So it's great to be part of the very, very prestigious program. About our sharing session today, what we would like to share with the audience is on this title, Striving UX in the High Power Distance Landscape. So during this presentation, we'll be wearing our myHCI-UX hats on. Yeah. Right. So without further ado, let's continue with the rest of the content of today's topic. Yeah. Right. So this is if you have ever been to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, so you can see the KLCC, the KL Tower. So this is the capital city, yeah, Kuala Lumpur. It's very nice, isn't it? So hopefully once the pandemic is over, you guys can come to Malaysia. Right. So now taking you guys into the context of our talk, yeah. So we are talking about the power distance, right? So power distance index in Malaysia, if you can see from the numbers in front of you right now. So this is the data back in 2012, right? It doesn't look good, okay, because Malaysia is currently at the very top of the list, right? 2012. The recent data that we could find is back in 2017. There's not yet recent data about the PDI of Malaysia, but as you can see from the slide in front of you, the PDI score in 2017 slightly better, okay, but still at the very top, which is 100. So this is something that, well, to wish it go away just like that, it's maybe it's sorry, what's happening? Am I presenting the slide still?
I think your line drop off.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry about that. There's no network message appeared on my side.
Don't worry, it happens a lot.
Okay, so I tried to share it once again. Is it still there?
Okay.
Okay, sorry everyone. I really don't know what just happened. Okay. So I can see someone was asking what is power index. So anyone care to explain? Maybe Linda or Ju.
Sorry, power distance index?
Yeah. Maybe some of us not really aware of what power distance means and how that could impact UX in the context such as in Malaysia.
Okay, so this power distance index is basically is a hierarchical order of the system, which means that we have this kind of authority at the top, and it is basically very hard to get access to that authority. Okay, so this is how they actually measure the power distance, because, for example, like there are layers after layers after layers for us to get to the top authority of an organization. Okay, so I guess in the slide there are some explanation on that. People just accepting a hierarchical order which fits accordingly into the design does not require for justification. This is probably be the outcome from Malaysia's link to the colonialism and also the legacy of the Malay feudal system. So that's why we have this power distance index very high.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe we can also follow up on that later during the Q&A session. So just to give some background on what is power index and why is power index can be a hard thing to apply UX in Malaysia. So this is what we be sharing with the rest of the audience. Yeah, so we are in this setting. We are in this particular landscape. So how do we as a society of the chapter try to strive UX? So I hope that brings everyone into the context. Okay, let's move on. So just to give you the audience some background in terms of what has been happening from the government side. So basically, a good thing is there already been initiatives starting very, very early, as you can see from the slide, starting from the early 2003, 2005, and it now, exponentially grow, into a better stage, towards now and hopefully in the future. So this is what the government is have done and currently doing in terms of the digital transformation. And what I would like to highlight is one of the things that they emphasized is GOS Gateway, okay? Government Online Services Gateway. Among the things that they emphasized, there are four things: single point access, standardized interface format, and I like to highlight this: citizen and people-centric, as well as end-to-end services. So they already have this picture in mind. Okay, so this is very good to know. So the initiatives basically want the goals, not the goals, sorry, GOS Gateway to be applied and implemented throughout the ministries, the state agencies, local authorities, and so on. Yeah. Right. So this is from a very recent page from my government website. So this is just to show and highlight the maturity of UX practices that we can identify in the government. So maybe Ju, you have something to say on this part, isn't it?
Okay, so basically, while we are looking at the maturity of the government website, we also like to note here that basically government has performed digital transformation plan since 2017. Okay, and basically until now, 2022, they have basically a structured plan on increasing the online services index. Okay, so this, if you can see, if you can refer to the website, they have documentation on this, how they actually plan their digital transformation. And basically in 2014, the OSI, Online Services Index, at that year is in the 41, the place 41, but it increasing to number 30 in 2018, and last year 2020 is actually number 15. So we can say that the online service index is keep improving year after year. So that's what basically we would like to acknowledge the effort from the government.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ju. Yes. So that brings us to this slide, right? We have seen many key evidence that what has been happening around us in Malaysia. So the most notable thing that we identified is how UX practice, specifically the persona, was made visible. During the pandemic, Malaysians, if you can recall, last year when we first about to have our lockdown, the Prime Minister announced the Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package, and he used the metaphor of Makcik Kia. So this is the persona of Makcik Kia that represents the larger population of Malaysia. So this is the most notable UX practice where it is manifested from persona into Makcik Kia. So this is the first one that I would like to highlight. The second one is Citizen-Centric Initiatives, myHackathon. This was also last year under our Minister Hairi Jamaluddin. I think, Linda, who's actually with us right now, is one of the key people behind this. Maybe Linda can also share some information about this.
Okay, this is one of the example of initiative that we at myHCI-UX observe, right, on how government now aware of the UX, the requirement of UX and understanding and listen to the citizen. So in order for us to do citizen-centric, then you need to give a platform to listen and gather all this input. And with the high PDI that Malaysia have, this is not easy because it requires multiple layers of negotiation, education, and awareness to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So myHackathon is one program that really go back to the government, understand what they need, their language, their lingo, and what their wants, pain and gain, and let the citizen give ideas through the hackathon on how to solve the digital solution delivery for the government. So that's something that we think that really show that, you know, the awareness of importance of UX in order to manage the multiple level of hierarchy in the government is clearly seen, right? So we have like myHCI UX team writing almost half of our members actually in there as mentors, as many roles. So that's something interesting to share to the world.
Right. Thank you so much, Linda. Yes. So this is one of the initiatives that we would like to highlight. And of course, the most recent and the most obvious one is the development of MySCI by the government. This is also key evidence that we can see how the government is trying very hard to serve the citizen, to ensure the tracing tracking can be done for every single individual, and making sure that all the premise owners apply and use the application. Right. So we have seen, we have understood what PDI is. We have seen the initiatives by the government, right? But there are still some pains visible despite all those digital services or solutions being given out or rolled out by the government. So this is just some examples. With Malaysian, but we can consider as very good in terms of producing technological solutions. There's so many system applications, website portals being developed. So we are doing okay on that. But there are still pains in terms of some of the deliverables didn't meet the expectations of the audience, didn't meet the expectations of the citizens. Frustrations occur from time to time. So this is something that we believe from what we have done in the past, we would like to share how we can make this better, how we can improve the process. Yeah. Okay. So number one, so I pass this to Linda.
So number one, we have, well, at myHCI UX, we have focused on this, I think, about 2 years already, right? On how to like digitalizing, transforming the government in terms of UX perspective. So one of the things that we believe is, in order for us to be on the same page, we need to use the tools that people understand. So there's a mean that you can meet each other in the center, right? So one of the tools that we use, even the government is also we applying the same method, is business model canvas. You can either use any other method out there that really, like, the gist of it is, how can you understand the ROI, the needs, the pain, the gain of the stakeholders. And one of the famous one, and for us, we keep doing this. It's not actually, I don't think it's really common in UX doing this, but we love business model canvas because it gives you the strategic perspective of the need, the pain and gain that they want and what they want to achieve. So during the workshop, we'll stick out this paper on the wall or use the whiteboard or whatever, and then sticky notes. Yes, we support using sticky notes, cutting trees and everything. But so far it's effective.
Not so much now.
Not so much now. And now, because of this COVID and everything, this method now moved to online. We have other tools like Miro and like Mural, anything that can help us to still using the same tools, getting the same things, but only virtual.
Yep. Right. Yeah. So that's number one that we would like to share. Number two is the session that we feel a must do as well. When we are talking about getting the buy-ins from the authorities or the decision maker, we should be conducting special one-to-one session, because the key here is to get everybody on the same page. So it's very important to be together in the room, discuss about things, making clear what are the directions, the why, and we should also do the research on the subject matter. Looking into harder.
Yeah, Masitah is basically can. Sorry if I just intervene on this one.
Yeah.
Basically, after we know, or the stakeholders basically convinced with the BMC and all ROIs and all. So basically, we want them to get into the bottom level of the organization. So this basically the workshop that we did. Yeah. So I guess we have few familiar faces in here. We actually want them to basically see what's actually the roots of the problems of the pain. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, we are actually try to identify the persona and also try to understand the process in this workshop. So this is what we actually can conduct workshop together with the developers as well as the stakeholders if they would like to join.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Very true.
And the complexity of PDI index very high in Malaysia, where multiple level of decision making. This
That is so
session need to be
true.
done like many times for one
Yes.
project.
Yes. For one project, multiple layers we need to approach, multiple discussions. Yeah. So it's not easy. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Yep. It's fun. It gives us lots of exposures and good experience. We learn a lot throughout the process. Right. So next one.
Okay, after we get all the user journeys, all the personas in, then probably the next stage is basically how we want to get the UI UX ball rolling. So one way of doing it is basically a workshop whereby we have the brainstorming session with the developers. So as you can see here, this is basically the typical, not typical, it's basically the meeting room. Yeah. So we gather there and brainstorm how to basically best to deliver a certain task. Okay. So based on the user journey, we try to figure out the possible user interface, okay, that can be developed to cater a certain task. And of course we set the timer on, yeah, because they say that brainstorming is good to have a fixed frame time, yeah, so that everyone can basically think and pour out what's in their minds. Okay. And then what we do is we basically put it on the wall, okay, and get them to vote. Okay, which one is the probably the best user interface, and also based on the UX that they have invented earlier. So the pink dots there is basically the vote that they did. Yeah. So it seems that they love to have video tutorials, yeah, instead of the help page. So that's what they think at that time is the best strategies.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jill.
I think there is one more. This is
Yeah.
compared to this one.
Yes.
This is very funny because I think the person very enthusiastic to draw, every interface that he think suitable, but somehow he only got 3 votes.
3 votes.
But it's
Right.
fun. The practice is fun. Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving on. We also noticed that one of the things that worked very well is participatory design. So in the past, before the pandemic, of course, we held workshops, a series of workshops with respective authorities, agencies. So we use empathy map as a tool, get everyone together, especially those who are in high positions. So because these are the people who are making all the decisions, making all the policies, so it's very important to get these people together, and so that they can understand and understand the pain and the gain on how to eventually creating the solutions that they initially plan to have. So this is one of the example that we feel a very good thing to do. Right. So next we have follow up from the understanding pain and gain. So Linda, want to add something here?
Yeah, we added this slide just to like one of the key things when we dealing with PDI. It's not bad. High PDI actually is not bad. It's just how do we manage, because now you have multiple layers to manage, right? To interact and to get to the decision maker. So for what we learn, like understand the pain and gain of the government is not easy, but it's something that need to be done with whatever method we have. So, for example, when we did my hackathon the last time, we read all the policy papers that relevant to the problem statement that we want to distribute to participants. So the participants doesn't go like, like creatively outside of the needs and solving the pain and giving like the gain points to the government. You work within the scope that already identify the what's the pain, what's the gain, hence the solution is this. So again, one of the key point is how do we understand each other without actually assuming that, oh, government need this, and do some shortcuts like skip some level so you don't have a total buy-in from multi-level decision making ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this is a very good point actually, because in the landscape of high power index, as mentioned by Linda and Ju, there are many layers, many hierarchies. So we have to not skip any of them, because that shouldn't be the way. So yeah, thank you for the points. Right. So we are actually towards the end of our sharing session. So what's the takeaway of our slot for today? So this is what we would like to summarize. Okay. In the practice of UX, whether you are the practitioner or whether you are coming from the academic background, so the thing that we would like to put our hands on is, when we are wearing the UX hats on, is to apply the UX straight away on the project that we are dealing with at the moment, right? The digital transformation or the digital services. This is what everybody around the world is doing. This is the current practice. But in the landscape such as Malaysia, with a very high PDI or power distance index, the strategy need to be a bit different. Yeah. So we still have UX, of course. Okay, this is our the thing that we would like to apply. But in Malaysia landscape, okay, especially dealing with the government agencies or anything to do with that, we first need to go to or through the authorities. Okay, we first need to apply the UX with them, for them. Okay, so we would like to coin this as a government-centric or authority-centric kind of UX. Okay, so once we have done this process, then only the UX can go onto the systems, applications, or digital services that we are, that's supposed to be the main agenda, okay, for the project. So yes, we have come to an end. Terima kasih, which is thank you for everybody who's joining this session. Yeah, now we are accepting questions if there are any. Thank you. Over to you, Idia.
That was amazing presentation to me because this is very close to my heart. I'm experiencing this for the whole, how many decades. Just a little bit announcement to the audience. There will be another session happening at 11:30. So that will be UX Research Lab, if you remember this. So the presenter will be from here, this part of Malaysia. So you can always go to the left-hand side. Oh, sorry. Left corner here, there is like an arrow. So you can click on the arrow and go to the schedule. You can join the other session. But we're going to stay here. Those who wanted to stay, you are most welcome to stay because there are plenty of interesting questions to answer. So just feel free to, make decisions and enjoy. We have another 1.5 hours to go. So make use of the rest of the hours. All right, let's jump to the Q&A.
Sure. Should I stop presenting or sharing the slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one more note to those who are leaving. If you are interested in the rest of the stories, we are actually a spin-off podcast. We have 24 minutes of UX. You can always go to 24minutesofux.com and register yourself. You can share your stories there for 24 minutes because we are connecting the seekers and the givers of UX today. So let's jump to the Q&A.
All right. Where to look at the questions?
I think there's one question here, which is interesting. How do you persuade authorities to join, to participate in the activities?
I can answer that first. So based on whatever that we have done these couple of years with all the experiments, it's basically no different than persuading anyone, right? So you need to show the values, but the values, in order for you to show the right values, relevant values that they want, then you need to understand them, understand their pain and gain and everything before you, okay, this is what you need, or this is the solution I propose to you. If you able to do that, you can persuade even governments with, in Malaysia with multiple levels before you can reach the decision maker, as long as you did your work in gathering all the facts to convince them. I think that's what we use. Hence, like when we share about my hackathon, we actually read all these like policies, government documents, and go and talk to them, have workshops to understand really what are their pain and gain. And then when we articulate our findings and our proposals, it is the things that they really want.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with that, Linda. I think in other example of what we did before was when we are dealing with UX projects, it's not just about giving out the solutions. So the crux or the key here is we need to always making sure that the other party, especially the authorities, understand the reason why this must be done. So we have to resonate on that first before we can provide the solution.
And I think one point that is we must speak in their language, meaning we must basically what Linda said about reading their policies, reading their documents. So we must basically convey that we basically understand them by speak their language. So that's probably another point to add. Ida, there is one thing on one question on bilingual.
Yes.
It's the most upvotes there.
So based on the votes, we have this question. In Canada, we have French and English as official bilingualism. Sorry. Websites have varying levels of support for both languages. How does Malaysia handle language support? How do you test for the languages? And is testing methodologies different for them?
Okay.
I think there are three questions in one sentence.
Right. So I think in the case of Malaysia, we especially from the government websites, especially or portals, we need to ensure there are two languages, at least the Malay language and also the English language. I think as of to my knowledge, the testing is not very much different. So basically we can usually we need to test out, of course, how far the Malaysian content can actually successfully do its job. The same goes with the English content. So perhaps Linda or Julie, you have anything to add? Yeah,
I think that resonates our answers as well.
Yes.
Just that basically when we conduct the testing, normally we will do if English, then we conduct it in English, and if it is for Malay, and we conduct it in Malay. So, but the method of testing is basically, I think, is similar.
Thank you. Okay, move to the next question. Are there any tips so that young designers can convey their aspirations about user experience in public services to the government? If most members of the government are baby boomers, who are quite reluctant to changes that they see as not very profitable? Who? Very good.
This is a question. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Thank you, Hassan. Okay, who would like to answer this first?
Okay, young people to convince the baby boomers in government. Okay, I guess from industry, what we always do first, of course, same as the answer of persuading governments, you need to know what you are proposing. Second, it helps really to get somebody that they can see trustworthy in front of them. In some cases, it really helps. So there's a few strategy as a business can be deployed. You can get somebody that you think is relevant. It might not be another baby boomers. It might be somebody that really expert in the industries that they are looking up to this person, or like create that credibility. Pretty sure they will listen. Most of the case that we have um, is the skill of persuading. Beside the content, is the delivery and the person who deliver. So yeah, you need to be creative on the strategy on how to get the other two parts. That's my take.
I think, Linda, to add to that, basically the baby boomers like to see result first. It's result oriented. So normally when we say something, then we need to, to get things work first, then show to them and of course justify it. And normally they will buy in.
Yeah, yeah. I think whatever our culture background is, people who are the word here is boomers, right? So they're the ones who are very much older. So I think respect is a must. So that has to come first. We are not denying their opinion, something like that. What we need to do is first show the worth of us first, get them convinced. So I think the idea is the same throughout. It's what Linda mentioned just now, the skill of persuasion, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's the same, but we're just now applying in this context. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Another question, interesting question as well. How did you engage citizens to be part of your design process or workshop, since the high PDI also seems like they tend to accept what is given to them? Another potential issue is trust. That citizen is willing to be engaged since they see government different.
Okay, I cannot see the question very much.
How did you?
We can actually invite Jordan Chong to the stage. Just press on the button, the raise button, the one that I actually do this. The hand.
We need to do it, or Jordan need to do it?
Yeah, if Jordan wants,
Okay. And I can see the question.
you want to join, if you want to clarify on your question, or you can raise your hands and we can bring you up to the stage as well.
I think Idya, for Malaysia, we are lucky because our government has this digital transformation plan, and as the year goes by, then they see the potential or the benefits of UX, and what we can say that throughout the years, the tender for government digital services, they have a section for UX research or user research. So the developers must conduct user research in order for them to deliver certain apps or certain system that they have been awarded the tender. So I guess if there is a budget, then we can always engage citizens because basically we are lucky because our citizens would like to help in any government initiative. So I think one of the manifestation of that is the My Hackathon. We can see streams of citizens coming in as participants. So it shows that they are very very interested in contributing towards government services. And of course, if you like to engage citizens, then probably we need a huge chunk of budget, in order to do user research.
And also just would like to add, I just remembered previously what we have conducted before when we engaged in this one government project. Since they already have the initiatives mentioned by Ju just now, they pretty much work together with us. They cooperated in terms of trying to put out advertisement, findings, volunteers to come in this kind of workshops. So in that sense, I think we didn't really face too much difficulties. We have they given us support to making sure that this was done. So yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, I think what comes to mind, we have a few sessions actually. We have one which is the bottom up when we do the citizen ideation workshop. Remember that we call for citizen and then we discuss on how to digital transformation of government services.
Yeah.
And then we also have top-down workshops
Yes.
with the government officials. I think it can be done, but the key is how do you select the participant of the workshops? The criteria of selection, I think, is very important because if not, the outcome of the workshop will get skewed to maybe not on the right path. That I feel like the discussion on how to select, right, is based on what you understand, what you want, and everything else. Yeah. Any more questions?
Okay. I think that's conclude the question for that specific question. We have a lot of questions here.
Okay.
You choose, Idia.
So let me sort by upvotes. Okay.
So I think we have ticked most of them on the top.
Okay.
1, 2. Oh, there's one more by Peter.
Okay.
Is there any need from the citizens to have more say in government? Are citizens ready for this kind of cooperation? Well, so far, yeah. The answer is yes. When we held these workshops, especially the bottom-up ones, the citizens are, they're so much energetic, they're so much enthusiastic in terms of sharing their thoughts. They want their voices to be heard because they want the benefits of the services. So, yes. So that's it.
I remember we did cry in one of the sessions, right, when the participants share about their pain.
Yes.
With all the facilitators in that workshop, like crying, and everyone like moved to the,
It's so
to the
heartfelt.
corner. Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, we have like a good guy and bad guys. And again, it goes back to the selection.
Yeah.
And as well as the process, how do we naturalize the bad guy to be at least natural person, not, at least not to be that really bad, opinionated citizen.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. There's one question here. If government website, service, or informative site is still bad in UX, what does that mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean, Linda?
What does that mean? Well, like the thing about organization or country that have multiple level to make decision also requires multiple level at the execution going down. So if you see a website now, it's not right. To be honest, we don't know what's the status of it. Whether are they realizing it's bad or they're not. It varies. They have multiple reasons. There are government agencies take about 4 to 6 months to just update the website. We also have government agencies who only take like a few weeks to come up with something very nice, right? So again, that is actually at the execution and tactical layer. which not necessarily just the government, but maybe also the contractors, the discussion between them. There's a lot of process in between. I will say that lah.
Mm.
Okay. So
I
we
think one way that we can say is we are still improving. Maybe it's bad, but we are improving. So we hope for the best.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we have another interesting question. Hang on. So what are the best methods to understand who are different audiences and what are the requirements from a portfolio submitted to the government agencies for getting a UX designing contract? I think Linda, you know this better.
What are the best methods?
I'm trying to find the question. What is it?
Who are the
Vini.
audience? And what are the requirements for portfolio submitted to the government agencies for getting design contract? Okay, I'll try to answer. What are the best method? I think it's the same thing. Like need to understand, like figure out what is the problem actually, and then who are the users, and what are the solutions? What are the pain that we are solving at this moment? Don't just rely on the standard documents. You need to have an extra effort to really understand, because at the end of the day, the solution providers know better on the technical side, right? On this maybe UX design and everything. It's our role to actually give the different perspective if it's different. Um, so what is the best method for me? Need to understand what are we offering. Then we can understand who are the stakeholders, who are the users, what are their personas. There's no shortcut way of that, I think. And then what are the requirements from a portfolio submitted to the government agencies for getting UX design contract? As far as I know, in Malaysia at least, there is no contract just for UX design. It's always like part and parcel of other solution that so there will be one items in the contract out of like hundreds items.
Maybe
There
small.
may be one item saying like you need to have usability test that da. So that become the basis of we need to deploy a proper UX. So that's what we have, what we see happening in Malaysia lah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to add to that. I know despite the situation where it appears, very tiny thing in the, in the requirement contract, but we take the chance of that as to create awareness as well. So when we involve in the project, as the project goes along, we try to educate about what how the UX methods, how the UX practice should be done, in a better way, so because sometimes I think we are still facing with some misconception where people, when they think about usability, it's all about the interface alone. So when we come in, this is where we would like to create awareness and educate other audience, other parties about this.
Okay. We still have questions here. Okay, there's one question. Do you run the same workshop session through all the power levels, or are the sessions refined on the way up?
I think Linda has answered that, isn't it? We have both, right?
Yeah, we have both. And usually workshops is designed with certain objective and goals.
Yeah, so it's different.
So it's different. It's run differently. We deploy multiple methods to get what we want for that goal to achieve lah. Basically, you can cover any level.
Yeah. I think the key here is always know who are dealing with it for the particular workshop. Then we work towards that. We design the design. We design the method.
So I'm going to take this second last question.
Okay.
The government vaccine booking website failed miserably. What to change to the website, especially now when the pandemic is raging?
Yeah, it is very sad actually. It's happening right in front of us. Um, okay. Yeah, I actually experienced this firsthand. It wasn't easy. So even I myself found it easy. So I couldn't imagine how everyone has gone through, especially those the elderly, people who had limited access to the internet. So what can citizens do to make meaningful change to the website, especially now when the pandemic is raging? Ooh, so many things on top of my head. Uh, I think people, if we are looking from the not so official platform, there are already voices of people giving suggestions. Of course, there are bad camp where they very opinionated and give very harsh critiques and opinion, right? But on the other side of it is we already seen and heard plenty of suggestions that I think the ministry could take up because there are people even from the US community. I think I have seen some examples where they come up with some proposed design alternative to help how the people who are vulnerable, especially the elderly, on how to make full use of the application or even the website. Um, so that is if you are looking from the not official what do you call that suggestion. I think if I think the other thing that we can also do is to properly write formally maybe so that maybe the ministry can take up the initiative better. So I don't know. This is very much open in terms of the answers. But I think the key here is if the ministry, you know, um, very open and wants to listen to the experiences of the citizen and they want to make it better, then I think it can be done.
And I think they are listening. I mean, the best
Yes.
thing we can do, and we are doing it already, is let them know. And we are
Yes.
telling them in many, many ways: social media,
Yes.
email,
Yes.
meetings, a lot of things. But one thing, especially for this COVID, is very special case because we are on a fast track and you don't know what's ahead. You cannot see the direction, right? So you can only do so much. And again, with the PDI, multiple level decision making, one
Mm.
suggestion that come to them, it requires a lot
Many
of level to
different.
get
Yes.
more financial impact and the rest. So again, the process getting longer. By the time it's done, things is not relevant anymore. So specifically for vaccine and COVID pandemic, I think there's a lot of other factors that play roles also.
Mm.
Yeah, I think one points to add. Yeah, um, I must applaud the ministry in charge because they actually quite responsive to this. Basically, I remember that the ministry has already apologized to us because of this miserable things, and they basically do quite responsive in terms of um, they actually call personally to those who after that I also think they have actually listed out and contacted those uh, who eligible for vaccines. Okay, so website is one method, and perhaps the other method is what we call service design. They need to basically come up with the strategies, on how to get the website or how to get to approach, those rural people, to get to register for the vaccines. So basically, that's most of it is actually service design. So that's what I want to add. Ija?
All right. So let's see. There are two questions like how to measure PDI ban. We are not the expert of
Yeah, I
PDI
know.
here,
No,
but
we
you
cannot.
can always shoot to the website Hofstede dash Hofstede. How do I say? I will.
Maybe you can type it away in chat.
Yes, Hofstede Insights. So he is the master of power distance
Measuring the PDI.
yeah. So you can Google that. And also to Vinay, UX writing a part of process? Yes, definitely. If you are the UX writer, yes, you are one of the most important person. You are part of them.
But you can come under many names.
Yes.
But you need to write.
Yeah.
And also, I think Sharon is asking what is the difference between doing it online and offline. I think it's UX research, especially on the research portion. Linda or anybody, do you want to? I'm not sure whether it's
This question is very
yeah, it's a bit general.
General.
But if you mean the participatory design kind of thing, doing it online or offline, what are the benefits of them? Maybe Linda, do you want to share?
I think the offline is more effective because you can see a lot more than what they're saying.
yes.
You can see the
expression.
micro expression, body language, the movements, and then anything. There's a lot of other signals that you can read. The second best, I think, is the video online research that also give you some sort, but have limitation, but okay. And the worst to do is I've done this in the early MCO or the COVID hitting Malaysia, which totally offline and is on WhatsApp. That is like it's not easy for me to really understand what actually they're when they say something, what is that actually? Because sometimes what they're saying and what they're meant is two different things. So you read between the text, or even like sometimes you call them and then it's not properly managed. It's not a good process. So I guess if I need to like prioritize the best way, it will be that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys. Due to the interest of time, I really apologize. I have to end this.
No worries.
So those who have other questions, you can actually go to the lounge. Go to this. There.
I'm following your finger. So where should we go?
Go to the lounge and you can meet up with the speakers here asking more about what is bothering you. It has been a very engaging session, guys.
Thank you, India, for hosting this session.
Click on the emojis. What are your feelings right now? Label your emotion at this time.
And thank you to all audience for your awesome questions. I personally enjoyed this session very much. The least thing that I would hope for is our sharing would be benefit to you guys. So yes, thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye. See you guys later.
See you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.